Hey guys, and welcome back. It is so good to see you. If you're new here, my name is Sean Marie and I share all things homemaking on my channel. When I'm not sharing a fabulous DIY or a home renovation with you, you can find me in my kitchen where my love for food shines through with recipes and food preservation that I love to share and I hope inspire you all with. If that sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join the party. Now let's get this beautiful Sunday rolling. Today's Sunday with was inspired by a recent trip to my local Savers. If you're not familiar with what Savers is, it is a thrift store with everything from household goods all the way down to clothes and everything in between. One of the first sections that I love to peruse is the book section. I love cookbooks. I have at least 50 of them in my collection and I am always on the lookout for another great cookbook. You can never have enough great recipes, am I right? While I was perusing the section, I actually found a cookbook by a cook I am very familiar with, and so isn't most of America. She is a fabulous cook with an amazing style behind her, and her obsession with Julia Childs rivals my own, which makes her absolutely top-notch in my book. So without further ado, let me show you who I picked. Today's delicious meal is from none other than Southampton's resident A-lister chef, Ina Garten. I love Ina in all of her Hamptons fabulousness. I want to live her life. I want to go to one of her dinner parties. I want to be her friend. I think she's pretty fabulous. I wanted to know a little bit more about the woman behind the meals, so I did a little digging into Ina's past. And I actually have to say, I thought I was impressed with her for her culinary skills and her personal style. I am blown away by her history. I had no idea. Now, we all know Ina's love is Jeffrey, her husband. What a fabulous guy, and just what a great supporting husband he is. I hope everybody has a Jeffrey in their life. Well, they got married in 1968. Right after they got married, Jeffrey was in the military. So they spent 4 years on base housing. During that time, Ina started dabbling with cooking and with dinner parties to try to occupy her time as a military wife. Now, when Jeffrey's military service ended, remember, 4 years later, they went on a 4-month-long camping trip to Europe. Now, I am fairly confident that their idea of camping and my idea of camping are probably two totally different things, but I nonetheless imagine their 4-month camping trip was absolutely fabulous. How could it not be? They're in Europe, right? While they were in Europe, they were obviously in France, and it's in France where Ina absolutely fell in love with French cuisine. It became fascinating to her, and she wanted to know all she could about it. When they returned to the US, she dove right into Julia Childs' Mastering the Art of French Cooking book, which is an infamous cookbook. Even to this day, it'll never be beaten. But Ina studied that and started making dishes, and her love of cooking and all things culinary really started to develop and come out. She was also getting very, very good at hosting parties. Ina is a fabulous hostess with the mostess. When they moved back to the States, Ina actually took a job at the White House. Did you know that? Because I totally did not know that. And she was in the Office of Management and Budgets. And get this is the mind-blowing fact about Ina. She was responsible for developing and writing the nuclear budget. Like, this woman is no joke. Top-notch all the way around. I was really impressed by that. I had no idea. She ended up leaving the White House in 1978. She found this store for sale in Southampton and she went and checked it out. Very small, 900 square feet. It was a specialty store. And Ina decided that this is what she was going to do. Her love of cooking had led her here, and she was now in a position where she was going to buy this business. And the name of the business was none other than the Barefoot Contessa. It's actually named after a movie by the woman who started it. But Ina, being the mastermind businesswoman that she is, kept the name the same. The rest is history. She has built an empire with the Food Network, her cookbooks, her store, her presence. She has been on numerous TV shows. She has been interviewed by some of the world's best culinary magazines. She really is a very impressive person, and I am super proud to make her dishes today. Now, one of the things that I really admire about Ina is her recipes are not only delicious, but they're elegant and earthy at the same time, meaning they present beautifully. They are showstoppers on the table, and when you see them, you're like, oh, this is what we're having for dinner? This is why I want to go to one of her dinner parties. But through her cookbooks, she's enabled us to recreate the dishes that she makes, and if you follow them, you can cook like Ina Garten too. As I was perusing through this absolutely fabulous cookbook, which I paid $4.99 for, and can I just say it retails for $35. Love secondhand books. I actually found 3 recipes that totally captivated me, and I was like, I need to make those. For Sundays with Ina Garten, we are going to be making some lemon chicken breasts. We are going to be making a garlic mashed potato that is going to blow your mind, elevate your game, and you will never go back to making mashed potatoes the same way. And we are also going to create these gorgeous asparagus and prosciutto bundles. I love lemon with chicken, and I love lemon with thyme. Those are ingredients you'll find in the chicken recipe. I think that sounds absolutely divine. The mashed potatoes have me captivated. I am dying to see how this is going to turn out. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe when you see me do it, you'll be like, oh, I've done that before, Sean. Where have you been? This is all new to me, and I am so excited to try it because I never would have thought to make mashed potatoes the way Ina shows to make them. And I think it's just going, oh, I cannot wait to try it. And as far as the asparagus and prosciutto bundles go, I love asparagus. That is one of our favorite vegetables to have in our house, and I love making it all different ways. This is a new way for me. I love prosciutto. I love the flavor it has. So I can only imagine that wrapping my asparagus in that prosciutto and adding some Gruyere cheese to the top of that is just going to send me over the edge. I may not even come back from it. It just might be a moment that I'm stuck in forever because I'm telling you, it just sounds so good. I need this dish in my life. I think we all need this dish in our lives, and it sounds like an absolutely fabulous Sunday dinner. So let's stop jibber-jabbing and let's get down into the kitchen and get this rolling. I need to try this. I'm going to do all the prep work that I can ahead of time, which just basically means I'm going to look at the recipe, see what is required for each and every dish, and get it all ready to go. Right now, I am just quartering up some Yukon potatoes for our garlic mashed potatoes, which I am super excited to eat. I love the creamy, buttery texture of a yellow Yukon, and it's not one that I do cook often. So I'm really enjoying it now. But I'm just going to get it going in my little vintage pot that I found. I'm super stoked to be using that for the first time. And this potato dish will require an entire head of garlic. So basically, what I'm going to do is peel the entire head of garlic, leave it whole. I am using my silicone roller. Look at how easy that just pops right out of there. And I am left with about a half a cup of delicious garlic. I need to zest a lemon for the lemon chicken breast, but before I zest it, I am actually going to roll the lemon on the counter. Doing this releases the juices, and when I go to use the juice in the dish later, I am going to get a lot out. So now I'm just gonna zest this beautiful lemon up. And look at that, it's gorgeous, and the smell of fresh lemon. And now I'm just gonna cut that piece in half, and we are going to use that in the dish. But look at, just from cutting it, look at the juice on this board. I'm telling you, always roll your lemon before you cut it. The amount of juice that comes out of this lemon is absolutely insane. I got probably about 4 tablespoons from that one lemon. And now I'm just going to strain it off so I can get that pulp and the seeds out of it because I actually don't want that in the broth. I want to keep it clear. Next, I'm just going to take some fresh thyme and I am going to chop it up. I'm going to give it a nice rough chop. I love the smell of fresh thyme and I really love how thyme and lemon cohesively go together, and it's a wonderful combination for our chicken. The first dish that we're going to put together is the lemon chicken breast. Now, I'm going to need to put some olive oil on the stove, but I'm not going to bring it to a boil. I actually just want to warm the olive oil up, not boil it, not let it smoke, just get it good and warm. And to that, we're going to add some minced garlic, which I have. I buy it in a jar, I buy a big quantity, and it's very handy to have in the kitchen. Oil is good and warm, so now I am going to add that minced garlic right in there and give it a stir. All right, we're just going to let that simmer on very, very low for like maybe a minute. You don't want it to brown, you don't want it to cook, you don't want it to boil. You just want that garlic to infuse in the oil, so it's at a very, very low heat setting for just about a minute. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I am going to add some white wine, lemon zest. I'm going to add the fresh chopped thyme and some ground oregano and the fresh squeezed lemon juice. And I am just going to stir all of that together and combine it really, really good. Now we are going to add all of that to a baking pan. I'm going to be using some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I am just going to pat them dry. Now we are just going to take them, set them right in that delicious garlic oil that we seasoned up. Number 4. And we are going to season them good with some salt and some fresh ground pepper. And we are also going to take a lemon that I just cut into 8 wedges, and we are going to put that all around the chicken as well. This is going to be such amazing flavor to this dish. Oh, it's going to be so good. This is going to go into a preheated 400-degree oven, and it's going to bake for approximately 30 to 40 minutes. Now, because this is skinless, I am also going to add a little paprika to the top because that'll give it that beautiful color that we just won't get without the skin being there, but we don't want the skin, so. Just a little bit, just like that. Very pretty chicken. Next, we're going to assemble the asparagus and prosciutto and get it ready to go in the oven. I have a pan of salted water, and to that I am just going to add my trimmed asparagus. I just want them to go for about 2 minutes, all submerged in this water. And the reason that we're doing this is to set that beautiful green color on there. If you skip this step, which you totally can, your asparagus will just turn a brownish color in the oven when we bake it. By blanching it for a couple of minutes first, it helps to keep that gorgeous bright green color there. So for 2 minutes here, and then we are going to plunge this into an ice bath and really set that color in. It's been 2 minutes, so now I'm going to drop the asparagus in its ice bath. Look at that gorgeous green, and the ice will set that color in, and it'll hold that beautiful green shade while we bake them in the oven. And it's just more appealing and more appetizing that way. I'm just gonna let that sit and chill for a couple of minutes. I'm removing the asparagus from the ice bath and I am gonna pat it dry between two pieces of paper towel. I'm going to lay a piece of prosciutto on my board and I'm going to take a bundle of about 8 or 9 asparagus spears and set them on that. I am then going to roll that prosciutto up nice and tight around those spears, creating an adorable little bundle. I'm going to do this for all of them. These would actually be super cute for a dinner party and so easy to make and for people to be able to grab easily. And I already love this idea. How cute are they? Just a couple more touches and we'll be ready. I'm going to take some avocado oil and put that on top. And I'm going to use one of my brushes to spread it out evenly. We're going to add some salt, some pepper, some Gruyere cheese. And this is going in a 400-degree oven for about 12 minutes. And I cannot wait to try this. Now, here comes the wonky part of making these potatoes. We're going to take some olive oil, a good olive oil. And to that we are going to add an entire head of garlic that has been peeled. And we are actually going to bring this to a boil. Once it starts boiling, I am going to turn the heat down to low and we're going to cook it uncovered for about 5 minutes or just until the garlic is lightly brown. Then we'll turn the heat off and set it aside, and that garlic will continue to cook and infuse that oil. And by cooking that garlic in the olive oil, it changes the flavor and gives it this sweet, delicious flavor that I love about garlic. So we're going to bring this to a boil, turn it down, let it go for 5 minutes, and then shut it off. We have our Yukon Golds on the stove. We're going to get those all nice and fork tender, and I'm very interested to see how that goes into those, but I'm very excited for this. So, oh, it's starting to boil. We're going to actually turn this down a bit now and just let it go for about 5 minutes. I will stir it here and there. The garlic is good and roasted and I've shut the heat off. Now, I don't have a ricer, which is what the recipe calls for, so I'm actually going to use a handheld potato masher and I am going to mash up this garlic, which I have to say is incredibly easy to do. It's nice and tender. It's so delicious and the smell is out of this world. Potatoes are done, so now we're going to drain them. It was so much fun using my little enamel pot for the first time. Works really good too, and I love the strainer aspect of it. Alright, my potatoes are drained, and I'm going to put them right back into the hot pot. When you do that, the hot pot actually draws all of the water moisture out of the potato, giving you a drier potato and thus a much better tasting potato. So, I'm excited but nervous to see how this recipe is going to come together. I've never made mashed potatoes in my life with olive oil, so, but I trust Ina. We're going to remove that garlic from the oil, but we're going to save the oil. And put that right in with our potatoes. Now, Ina uses a food mill to do this. I don't have a food mill. I really wish I did. It's on my wish list for someday. So I am going to use a potato masher. Use the masher and we'll see what we can get done. A ricer would be better, but you make do with what you have. Do you use a ricer? Have you ever used one? I've never used a... Have I? Maybe I have once. Yes, I use my grandmother's ricer. Wish I had my grandmother's ricer. Pretty good. Well, here goes nothing. Add the olive oil. Some nice salt in there. Some fresh ground pepper. We're going to add some creme fraiche. I cannot help but giggle every time I say that word because it just reminds me of an episode of South Park. And that was funny. Have you ever cooked with creme fraiche before? A good plop in there. It's somewhere between a cream cheese and a sour cream consistency-wise. It is really good, but potatoes appear to be too gluey. You can always use some of the water. I should have reserved it. I didn't. I'm glad it worked out for me. But reserve the potato water and then you can add that. I have to know what this tastes like. I've never had potatoes made with olive oil, so. Wow. That is really different. Definitely needs more salt. A little stir. Let's try that again. That's really good. I never would have thought to put olive oil in a mashed potato. Thank you, Ina Garten. Oh, this is good. You know what? This might be my new Easter potato. So good. Just gonna set that aside. All that we're waiting for now is our prosciutto wrapped asparagus, which is almost done, and our dinner is complete. Look at that chicken. Oh my Lord, it smells so good. You can smell the thyme, you can smell the lemon, the garlic. Oh, I cannot wait to try this. Just look at that delicious dinner. Look at that asparagus, and the prosciutto, and the Gruyere. That delicious chicken that was cooking in the olive oil, and the garlic, and the lemon. And those incredible mashed potatoes made with olive oil. I am dying to try this. Oh my Lord, it looks so good. That chicken. Oh my goodness. The lemon really comes through with the garlic. Absolutely mouth-watering delicious. These potatoes, can we talk about those for a second? Olive oil? Really? You're not going to believe this. You have to try that. And let's try some of that asparagus with Gruyere and prosciutto. The nutty flavor of the Gruyere goes perfectly with the prosciutto on top of the asparagus. This meal is phenomenal. This is delicious. So good. You go, Ina. You go, girl. You know what's going on. You need this. Trust me. The flavor that is in there is like nothing I have ever tasted before, but I can completely see it going deliciously with ham and everything else on that table. And I think I'm definitely going to switch it up this year and change my potatoes from Mama's potatoes to Ina's potatoes. My mama didn't raise no fool. So good. I really like this. And there you have it. That literally is one of the most amazing meals I have had in a long time. It was an absolutely perfect choice to showcase today's Sundays with, and Ina Garten has outdone herself as always. The lemon garlic chicken was to die for. It was so moist, it was so delicious, it was cooked perfectly. Then let's talk about those asparagus bundles. Oh my gosh, how cute was that? And the flavor of the prosciutto, that bacon-esque flavor against the asparagus with some salt and pepper and hello, Gruyere cheese. Those were hands down the absolute best version of asparagus I have ever had in my life. And I highly recommend that. Like, I cannot recommend that enough. And on one last note, can we talk about those olive oil potatoes? I am blown away. Those potatoes were absolutely delicious. And cooking that garlic in that oil and letting it infuse really made a huge difference. The potatoes were not olive oily tasting at all. They were just absolutely creamy and delicious and perfect, and I am so making these for Easter. Heck, I'm making these a lot. This is going to be a new way that I will make mashed potatoes in my house because I'm just, wow. Yeah, that's all I can say. You really have to try these potatoes to understand. I'm at a loss. They are phenomenal. As always, I am going to leave links down below in the description that will take you over to each and every one of these recipes, and I sincerely hope you follow those links and print these off because this is kitchen gold. Your family will go wild. This is perfect dinner party food, like not a whole lot of work involved, but yet a huge impact both visually and taste-wise. This is an absolutely off-the-charts, flavorful dinner, and oh, I want more. I'm not gonna lie, I want more. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to consider hitting that subscribe button and joining our little community over here. We have so much fun, and I know you'd love being part of it. I'd also appreciate if you do me a favor and hit that like button and share this with your friends so they too can discover this mind-altering, mind-blowing, mind-boggling way of making mashed potatoes. Because I am so serious, guys. There is no reason for us to keep this under wraps. The world needs to know about Ina's garlic mashed potatoes. We will be the people that get the word out there so others can enjoy this. We will be the heroes of the day. They may even erect statues to us in some cities. I'm telling you, if you share these recipes, people will thank you for it, especially me. So thanks again for joining me today as we did another Sundays with Ina Garten. I hope you enjoyed the recipes, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye.